Hi, this is Anil from Learning Lad, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to calculate the area and circumference of a circle in the C programming language. So we're going to be writing a program which is going to calculate the area and the circumference of a circle. So here I'm using the CodeBlocks IDE, and if you guys don't know how to download, install and set up CodeBlocks IDE, then please watch my tutorial on it. And here we're going to be creating a new project. So I'm going to go to File, New, and then Project, and here we're going to select the console application, and we're going to click on this Go, and then click on Next, and I'm going to select C because we're going to be writing the program in C, and then click Next, and we need to give the project title. Let's say area and circumference of circle, and then click on Next and click on Finish. And now go to View and click on this Manager, and it's going to open up the projects in your workspace, and you guys can see the project that I have created right now. So I'm just going to click on this Sources, and we're going to double click on this main.c, and you guys can see it has some pre-written code. So I'm just going to remove this printf statement, and we are ready to go. So in this tutorial we're going to assume that the radius of the circle is given. So to calculate the area of a circle, we're gonna use the formula pi r square, where the r is the radius of the circle, and then to calculate the circumference we're gonna be using the formula 2 pi r, and again r is the radius of the circle. So here we're gonna need some variables to store the values of the radius, the area, the circumference of the circle. So we're gonna create the variables, and they're gonna be of type float. I'm just gonna take the float variable because we're gonna be having some floating point values. So let's say area, and then we're gonna have the circumference, and let me call it as F, short one, and then we're gonna have the radius, and then we're gonna have a constant called pi, which is equal to 3.14, and then let's add the semicolon here. Now we need a comma here after this radius, because we are defining more than one variable here. And then you can ask the user to enter the radius of the circle. So I'm gonna use the printf function, and I'm just gonna say enter the radius of the circle, and let's add a new line here just to make it pretty. And then we're gonna receive the value entered by the user, and we're gonna store that in our variable radius. So I'm gonna use the scanf function, and we're gonna be receiving a floating point value. So I'm gonna use the format specifier as %f, and then we're gonna store that in our radius variable. And the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna calculate the area of the circle. So as I told you before, we're gonna be using the formula pi r square, where r is the radius of the circle, to calculate the area. So we're gonna write area equal to pi, which we have here, the variable, and then multiplication, we're gonna multiply it with the radius, and again we're gonna have the radius. So it's gonna be pi then radius 2 times, and that's gonna give the area of the circle. And the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna calculate the circumference of the circle, and we're gonna store that in our CF variable. So it's gonna be CF equal to, we're gonna be using the formula 2 pi r, where r is the radius, and it's gonna be 2, then multiply it with the value of pi, and then we can multiply that with the value of radius. These are the standard formulas for calculating the area and the circumference of the circle. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna print out the values of this area and circumference of the circle which we have calculated. So I'm gonna use a printf function again. So it's gonna be printf, and I'm gonna say area of the circle is, and it's gonna be %f, because we are talking about the float variable, and let's add a new line just to make it pretty, and then we're gonna refer the area variable. So it's gonna print out the value of the area, and then I'm just gonna copy it, this whole printf statement, we're gonna paste it, and they're just gonna say circumference of the circle is %f, and we're gonna refer cf, the variable which holds the value of the circumference. So the last thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna run this program. So I'm gonna go to build and run, and now you guys can see it's gonna ask us enter the radius of the circle. Let's say the radius of the circle is 3, and I'm gonna hit enter, and it has calculated the area and the circumference, and it's gonna say area of the circle is 28.26, then the circumference of the circle is 18.84. So similarly, if I run this program again, I just gonna give a value, let's say 4, hit enter, and it's gonna calculate the area and the circumference of the circle for the appropriate radius value. So this is it, guys. This is how you guys can write a program in C to calculate the area and circumference of the circle. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Check out my website for the source code of this tutorial,